Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Joan, and it's actually been about 2 weeks since my last video. I thought now would be a good time to do a quick garden tour and animal tour to show you all the changes that we've made. So let's go check it out. Alright, so we have actually moved the animals into this section. We had them here, and it's been about a week since we had them out, so we moved them over here. We are having some issues with this electric fence netting. I don't know if it's the netting itself, or if maybe it's just too old, or what is going on with it. I bought these step-in posts to see if maybe getting this bottom section off the ground might help. I've got the solar charger sitting over in the sunlight turned off for right now to see if it just needs a better charge. I'm going to leave it there for 3 days. We did that already. We left it for 3 days in the sun before we used it. The first night was great, and then after that, nothing. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But we're going to try charging it again and seeing what happens. We got the ducks in with the chickens. We did have them separated for a little while, but the ducks wouldn't go anywhere. They would plant themselves as close as they could to this tractor that had the chickens in it. And so we decided to go ahead and put them all together, and they've been happier ever since. So what we're doing is every day we're moving it a little bit at a time. Once a week I take the netting down and I mow everything and move the netting somewhere else. So probably the next place I'll move it will either be one more row over, or if it's too close to my neighbor, I have some more yard space over here. Alright, so then here in the garden, let's go ahead and start on the outside. So these are the Brussels sprouts. Pretty good. They're starting to get a little bit of sun scald, but they are a cool weather crop, so that kind of makes sense. But they're doing pretty good. Again, I'm expecting them to go to seed instead of really producing much since it's so hot. But we'll see. You never know. I might get a small harvest out of them. And then the Egyptian walking onions are doing really good. They're starting to put on some scapes. Now, from what I understand, these are going to produce more onion bulbs, and then it would flip over and plant those in the ground to produce more plants instead of producing seeds. So what I hope I'm going to be able to do is harvest these and eventually fill up all of these empty buckets with those Egyptian walking onions. So, more onion is producing that scape. Here's a blueberry. This one was the one that got chomped down by deer, and it's starting to put on some new growth, so hopefully that'll kick into gear. More of those Brussels sprouts. The blueberries are starting to put on some flowers. So you can see the growth difference. This is a 2-year-old blueberry. That's a 1-year-old blueberry. And this one just got planted this year. Okay, get more of the Brussels sprouts. Another blueberry for this year. And I didn't realize this, but I apparently didn't get all the asparagus out of these containers, so that one's got asparagus coming up in it. Still haven't seen any growth on these blackberries, but we'll give them some time. We'll see what happens. Worst case, nothing happens, and maybe I can get a hold of DeGroot to get a refund. Let's take a look. This one, see if I can get you in there. It has some growth. Oh, that's nice. I wasn't there 2 days ago. So we've got some growth on that one. I don't see anything on this plant. But all these little nubbins can become plants, so we'll see. Then this blackberry that I planted, I believe this one was last year's blackberry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be trellising them on this fencing here. And this, I believe, is mint. Yes, this is mint that I planted that in the understory to see how that would do to prevent weeds. And so far, it's been doing really good. How about this one? I don't see any new growth, but we will keep an eye on it and see what it does. This one's actually started to put on some flowers. Again, this is also from last year, so it's doing pretty good. All right, so let's head inside to the actual garden. We've already, I went to a local farmer and we've been picking up compost. And the way I've been doing it is because we've only got a minivan, I lay all the seats down and then I line the back of it with a tarp, and then we just shovel the compost onto that tarp inside the minivan, and then we shovel it out until we can pull the tarp out. All right, so row number 1, these are all bell peppers. The last 2 rows here, these last 2 columns, they don't actually have anything in them. I had some violas that I planted and some self-heal that seem to be coming up pretty good. So we'll see how those do. But these here are carnival peppers. They're supposed to be a mix of different colored peppers. So we'll see what I get coming up through here. Last year I had planted some garlic over here, and so those are all starting to come up. I figure it's fine if they come up in here because that might actually work as a pest deterrent. Yep, so all the way up to here are carnival peppers. And then we start with the California Wonders, starting here and coming all the way down to here. And then these are yellow monster peppers. So all of that will be a type of bell pepper, which I'm super excited about because we use a lot of bell pepper. Comfrey's coming in pretty good, looking really nice. Hopefully that one plus some of the other ones that are sporadic throughout will produce really well. I'm going to try to pull that up this year and see if maybe I can split it and put some more in. These are some strawberries that got outside of their container. They are starting to set some flowers. Maybe I'll get some strawberries this year. Bed number 2, our fire bed. These are all spicy peppers. So the first here are Chinese 5-color, cayenne, purple cayenne, orange cayenne. Only one came up, so I've only got the one orange cayenne. Then it's Butcholokia, habanero, shishito, red mushroom, chili d'arbol, Santa Fe Grande, Thai Dragon, 7-pot Primo pepper, Serrano pepper, Big Thai Hybrid, Pasilla Bajío, I'm going to probably butcher this, Mulatto is Lino, is here, Poblano is here, and then Tabasco peppers. There's nothing in this bed. I started some onion seed, which honestly I forgot about, so they're like half dead. I'm going to see if I can get the survivors to be planted in here. Then we have the potato bed. Potatoes are coming up. These ones with the purple tinge to them are the blue Adirondack potatoes. And the way I'm going to work this bed, along with these 2 other potato beds, is I am going to be pulling all of my rabbit bedding and all of the poop and everything, and I'm just going to top all these beds with that instead of filling it up with soil. So more potatoes. This one's doing really well. See all the growth on this bed. Haven't seen any of the corn come up yet, but we planted corn in this bed and sweet corn in that bed. So both have sweet corn in them. And on the back row of this one, I also planted some cucumber seeds. So we'll see how that grows. Now, the last two beds. I haven't done a whole lot, but I want to make all of this bush beans. I need to buy more bush bean seeds or find something else to put in here because oh my goodness, I just noticed there's chamomile growing in the pathway. Cool. Only this bed has bush beans in it, and it took all of my bush bean seeds to plant it. So either I'll need to buy more or I'll need to find something else to put in here. And in the middle of each one of these beds, I also planted an okra seed. So we'll see how those do. And then this last bed here is going to be all leafy greens, things like lettuces, kale, cabbages, spinach. That's going to all be thrown through here. And I'm actually just going to take all of the seeds that I have at the moment, dump them in a bowl, and just sprinkle it through. And I want to see how that does. I also planted some of my tomatoes. So here is silver fir tree. It's a determinate tomato, so there's not really going to be a whole lot of pruning with these guys. And they're not doing so well because I didn't harden them off properly, but I've got a giant crimson here. And, oh yeah, these are all my cherry tomatoes. Yeah, they didn't do very well. I only see one that's still kind of surviving. But all of these cups are more seeds that I've started. That's the same variety. So we'll see if I can get them to come up. Yeah, we have silver fir tree here, giant crimson, and then cherry tomatoes. And then we'll have Jersey Devils in these two beds, and then in the last two will be alpaca tomatoes. These two beds here, and then these back here are going to be San Marzanos. And then these two here are going to be Romas. So that takes care of the vegetable beds. Over here we have the herbs. And most of them, honestly, I did buy from the store. The rosemary I bought from the store, but we're going to get these last two planted. Then we've got comfrey, valerian, and hyssop. Those I started and planted. Then we've got common thyme, and lemon thyme, which actually does smell like lemons. Wonderful. We have regular sage, golden leaf sage, tricolor sage. This is cilantro, sweet basil, Thai basil, sweet basil here that I started, and Thai basil that I started. This is oregano from the grocery store, and then oregano I started last year, and some variegated oregano. And I plan to get another oregano plant to go back in here. Now for this bed, the peas are starting to come up right along the wall there. I'm hoping that they'll actually do okay now that it's starting to really warm up. But we'll see. If they start to struggle, then I'll plant something else there. The onion plant that I set up is doing pretty good. I'm hoping that it's going to send up some flowers soon so I can get some seeds out of it. What's interesting is you can actually see that it's splitting. That's what these types do. The bulb will actually split and break off into different plants. In here I have milkweed, and I've set some more seeds for milkweed in here, so hopefully those will come up. Then I have marigold, and there should be more marigolds coming up. And seeds for all the different plants that I started are coming up slowly but surely. I might just have to start them in the house and set them up, because this is supposed to be calendula. I just saw a seed. I don't see too much in the way of calendula coming up. And those are coming up pretty good. This is probably thyme, based on what I'm seeing. And then borage over there is coming up. Okay, and then we have our peas coming up over here. And I didn't notice until the other day, but I think one of my peas that it's coming up is actually a white pea plant. I'd never seen that. That's interesting. So we got some borage coming up here. Looks really nice. All right, so yeah, we have the borage and the snow peas. Then over here I have horehound. Horehound's actually doing much nicer this year than it did last year. So I think putting it in the garden bed was better. And it's starting to spread, which I'm happy about. I bought some snapdragons over at Walmart, so I gotta figure out where I wanna put those. Haven't seen any flowers come up on yarrow yet, but the plant is actually looking pretty nice. And some more of the seeds are coming up. I believe that's fenugreek. Don't remember off the top of my head. And then this right here is tarragon and rosemary. No, sorry, not rosemary, lavender. Lavender, lavender, and lavender. So that takes care of all the plants in the garden. And then we have raspberries. So raspberry and raspberry from last year. They're doing really nice. And they're finally starting to set on some flowers. Another raspberry from last year. This is lemon balm. Again, wanted to experiment to see about covering for weeds. Still no growth on these plants. These are the strawberries I planted to see if they would, I need to find another container like this to put them in, but I put them in here to hold them over for now. These are the runners from the old plants from last year. These ones are starting to set flowers as well. So again, hopefully I'll get some actual strawberries. And this is how I'm planning to actually continue growing them. I like the setup. All right, we've walked the whole garden. Now let's go take a look at the animals. Over here with the animals, the biggest change is that this structure actually used to be right here. And the problem with that mostly was that I couldn't really get to the chicken coop to get the eggs out. Not very easy. So we moved that structure over here so that now I can get in here and access the chicken coop area. I moved the rabbit hutch over here that was in the garden, and we also moved this rabbit hutch over here that I built that holds the Demore rabbit cage. I built this thing around it so that I can slide the cage in and out if I need to. And then I need to cut these conduit bars. I just had some random conduit laying around, so I made supports underneath of it. But this, I'm hoping maybe I could put my grow outs in here, and maybe even put some grow outs, like I might do girls and boys, or boys and girls, depending on who I've got more of. But that's something to play with. The duck house, I don't know if we're actually going to need it because they spend so much time with those chickens. But when it's time to move the ducks into the area, I might actually build this inside the enclosed chicken run. I might put it like on the back side here or something. Alright, and then the last thing is for the rabbit tree. So for the rabbits, I put them on these steel shelves. And I've actually, inside you can kind of see, I used clips to secure the cages onto the shelf and then zip tied the shelf together. I need to come up with a better method for collecting their poop because they'll grab their hay and then the hay falls through onto here. This is not the right size tray for this cage, so I might just use trays. And because this method is just not working out for me. Yeah. So with her, we actually just recently bred this one. I believe we got her bred on Easter. So 28 days-ish, 30 days from now, we should have some babies from her. This is our buck. This is Nougat. And then we've got baby bunnies. So this is Caramel. Gotta remove the extra feeder for now. Caramel and her babies. She had 9 babies, all survived. They're very cute. This is something I don't really like about Damora cages, is they have a quality control issue where these latches don't sit proper. It needs to be, you can see it's crooked, so it doesn't sit quite right. And then here is Coco and her babies. Now we're not sure what happened, but one of them actually cut their foot. We're keeping an eye on it. So far it's looking better. Hi. So for the mamas with the babies, we free feed them. We make sure they've always got food, they've always got some hay, and make sure the water stays full. For the male and the females that are not currently nursing babies, they just get a single scoop of feed in the morning, a single scoop of feed at night. And then we use all of this space back here for storage. So the wheelbarrow for the garden, any supplies that we need for taking care of the rabbits. I've actually been, because it's hard to get the hose out here sometimes, I actually filled a cooler up with water, and then we just use the spigot to fill up their waters as needed. I get hay from a local farmer. It's about $10 a square bale, so a little on the expensive side, but better than getting it from Tractor Supply, where something like this would actually cost me $40. And then our rabbit feed and our chicken feed. And then I also included a door over here so I can get in and out to see the animals if I don't want to go through the garden. Alright guys, well that's it for today. I am planning to do a garden tour every week so that we can follow along and see how everything is progressing. If you want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys later. Until next time, bye.